Hello, Common Sensors. Today we're going to take a look at a news clip of a man in Florida on trial for homicide who attempts to use a sovereign citizen defense. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Joe the Lawyer. This is Common Sense Academy, where we take a look at sovereign citizens, First Amendment auditors, and other strange movements within the United States legal system. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share on this video. It's a free way to support the show. It raises my ranking in YouTube. It lets me know people are watching, and in turn, I make more videos. We all benefit. Also, I have a link to my email list in the description below. Sign up for my email list and get a free history and examination of the sovereign citizen movement written by yours truly. Now, before we dig into this video, I know the real reason you came here. It's for the same time sip. Today, I have my signature beverage, a nice, hot Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Raise it in the air with me. Let's cheers, because it tastes better when we sip together. Delicious. Now, let's enjoy this video.
Well, both sides presented their case, Kelly, to the jury. And keep in mind, the prosecution is saying he's a cold-blooded killer. The defense says all he was trying to do was defend himself.
My name is Obadiah Ben Ashaya.
First, he tried to beat murder charges by claiming he was a sovereign citizen and that our laws didn't apply to him.
Come forward. That's the second
I
time.
need nobody's hand to help me off. I got it.
After disrespecting the judge a number of times, Orrin Bivens got thrown in jail.
Take him into custody.
Let me get the stuff out of my pocket.
Contempt hearing.
Twice, Bivens used Florida's controversial stand your ground defense to win immunity.
He started saying that he was going to kill me. I was afraid at that point.
And twice, he lost. So now, it's up to a jury.
This defendant, Orrin Bivens, committed second-degree murder.
Prosecutor Aaron Hubbard says Orrin Bivens is a cold-blooded killer. He says on June 2nd, 2015, he dropped off his son at his ex-wife's apartment so he could go to school. His ex-wife Ava's new husband, Alfred Sonny Lester, was smoking outside. Hubbard says the two men began arguing, and it quickly turned violent.
The defendant begins firing that handgun next to his truck. The defendant is moving as he's firing that weapon. And you're going to hear why he's moving. He's moving because Sonny Lester is running away from him.
Hubbard says Bivens fired 7 shots, one of them hitting Lester in the back of the head, killing him.
The only threat in this case was the defendant. I submit to you that the facts will show that he was the threat to Sonny Lester.
But the defense says it was Lester who was the aggressor that day, and Bivens was just trying to save his own life.
Mr. Lester began to threaten Mr. Bivens. He threatened him that he was going to shoot him.
Now, the trial is set to wrap up at the end of the week. If convicted of these charges, he faces 25 years in prison.
Okay, I'm going to have to concede a little bit here to the sovereign citizens. I'm going to have to concede a little bit. And what I mean by that is if you're on trial for homicide, okay, you're going to use everything. You're going to throw everything plus the kitchen sink at the prosecution in your defense. So it's hard to blame someone who's on trial for homicide and is likely going to go to jail for the rest of their life, all right, for getting up there and talking sovereign citizen trash. However, it's not a good strategy. It's not a good strategy. I think it just aggravates the court, and it in a way, it may even make you look guilty. Now, that stuff isn't going to happen in front of a jury, but it's going to happen in front of the judge. And listen, you want the judge on your side to a degree. You at least want the judge to be fair. So this guy, in hopefully a moment of common sense, decided to go with the stand your ground defense in Florida, which is present in a lot of United States jurisdictions. That was the smart thing to do. So I was glad to see that he pivoted to the stand your ground defense. That may be a defense that works for him. You can convince a jury that you were acting in self-defense. You're not going to convince them that the law doesn't apply to you because of some conspiracy theory that started in the early 1970s. So Mr. Banks here, I believe was his name. He pivoted to the correct way to try to defend this case. You can win on stand your ground, as many people have seen before. You can win on self-defense claims. Sometimes in a homicide case, I'm a criminal defense attorney, sometimes in a homicide case, you just want to get the case, you want to get the charge reduced from first-degree murder. First-degree murder includes what's called malice aforethought, intention, or premeditation to kill someone. Now, you can premeditate within a matter of moments and be convicted of first-degree murder. But in a self-defense situation, and you hear a little bit of the facts there, the defendant says that there was a threat for him to be killed, and you act in a split instant, you may be able to defeat that intent element and argue that it was unknowing, unintentional, and you acted in a moment of rage, which may give him a third-degree manslaughter conviction. Sometimes that's what you need to go for when you're defending a first-degree homicide case. So I was glad to see that the defendant here saw the light. He dropped his sovereign citizen argument after it appears after he got put into jail because of it. Not a good strategy, sir. Not a good strategy, sir. Again, I don't want to harp on the desperate, because when you're facing homicide charges and you throw out the sovereign citizen argument, well, the people in that situation are going to go as far as they can. However, not a good strategy. So he finally came to his senses, came to his common sense. This was one of the latest clips I found on the news. It's concerning sovereign citizens. I'm here to pull the stuff off the interwebs, off the news, off the blogosphere, bring it to you in fun and informative videos. If you like the Common Sense Academy, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's a free way to support the show. Also, sign up for my email list. You get a free PDF on the history and examination of the sovereign citizen movement. Also, entirely free. You can quit my email list at any time, but sign up, get that PDF. Let me send you some cool stuff on a weekly basis. Thank you for tuning in.